They served our country, and here at the VA hospital in Louisville, volunteers are needed to come and sit with veterans during the final hours of their life.
As soon as those three players walked in the door, he sat up in bed, he was smiling. They handed him a U of L football that was autographed. It just made his life. I mean, he has a short time left, and it was what he wanted at the end.
On Saturday, Air Force veteran and avid U of L fan Tim Webb got the visit of his lifetime from U of L football players, including Will Gardner, along with Kentucky Female Veteran of the Year, Lindsey Gargata.
When the players left, I asked them, how does that feel that somebody is dying and they want you to come visit them? And the three young men were just really, really taken by it.
And you don't have to be a U of L football star to change someone's life. Army veteran Renee Finnegan visits dying vets regularly.
I started 3 years ago, and I love it. Some of my friends think that's weird, but I love it.
That's because there's power in a smile, a hug, and a hand to hold.
I love being able to make a veteran feel better, even if it's just holding their hand, that they know somebody is there with them.
No Veteran Dies Alone is a national program. It's in place at Louisville's VA hospital. Rarely does a vet die alone here. The program is designed for vets who have no family, but often Finnegan finds herself helping families who won't leave their loved one's side.
How about I stay with him? I promise you I will stay here with him until you get a shower or run home, do some errands. And they think you've given them $1 million.
Volunteers are trained and put on a call list, but if no one's available, nurses often have to step in.
They couldn't get a volunteer, say there was no one on the list that could come in that night. Then they would try and free up each other so that somebody could be with the patient so they wouldn't die alone.
Typically, volunteers are only called in a few times a year to give veterans dignity, honor, and love as they leave this world.
You know, a lot of the whole military culture is, you know, you leave no man behind.
If end-of-life volunteering isn't for you, there are many other ways you can help. You can do small things like delivering flowers to patients' rooms or writing sympathy cards to families who have just lost a veteran. To find out how to help, go to our website, WDRB.com, and click on the button. Reporting from the VA hospital, Rachel Collier, WDRB News.
High-level Saudi government support for al-Qaeda. Those are the new, though uncorroborated, allegations from convicted terrorist Zacarias Moussaoui, who is serving a life sentence in prison for his role in the 9/11 attacks. The allegations, filed in U.S. District Court as part of a lawsuit against the Saudi government by the families of the victims of the attacks. Moussaoui alleges he was tasked by al-Qaeda with creating a digital database of al-Qaeda donors, chosen, he said, because of his education and ability to speak English. Sheikh Osama wanted to keep a record who give money, who contribute to the jihad, he said. Included among the donors, Moussaoui alleges, are members of the Saudi royal family, including Prince Turki Al Faisal and Prince Bandar bin Sultan, both former ambassadors to the U.S. In addition, Moussaoui says he served as a messenger for bin Laden, couriering letters between the al-Qaeda leader and members of the Saudi royal family, including Prince Turki. The court filing includes statements by 3 members of the 9/11 Commission, former Secretary of the Navy John Lehman and former Senators Bob Graham and Bob Kerrey. Though they do not endorse the specific allegations, their statements argue that further investigation of Saudi government involvement is necessary.
I don't know for certain that there was an involvement. I know for certain that there's plenty of smoke and guns flying around the room, and this happens to be the latest one. Both the Congress and the administration need to follow this up. This is an extraordinary interview. The content is important.
That assessment is, however, far from unanimous. Robert Jordan served as U.S. ambassador to Saudi Arabia from 2001 to 2003. Was directly involved in the investigation of the attacks.
A lot of it was my own questioning. Are you sure? Have you made certain that none of the people we're dealing with now at this senior level had anything to do with these attacks? And I was routinely and universally given the information that they felt comfortable that, at least at that senior level, they hadn't.
Throughout, there have been consistent questions about Moussaoui's mental health and his changing story, including first pleading guilty to conspiring to kill Americans and then reversing himself. The 9/11 report says the commission, quote, found no evidence the Saudi government as an institution or senior Saudi officials individually funded al-Qaeda. Contacted by CNN for comment, the Saudi embassy in Washington says, quote, "There is no evidence to support Moussawi's claim. The September 11th attack has been the most intensely investigated crime in history, and the findings show no involvement by the Saudi government." Beyond his alleged work on the donor database, Moussawi claims that he was involved in a series of plots against U.S. targets. Specifically, he says he was given explosives training to attack the U.S. Embassy in London with a truck bomb, among other plots, he claimed. I spoke with another member of the 9/11 Commission, Lee Hamilton, and asked him about the line in the 9/11 report exonerating Saudi Arabia. He told me that the Commission never claimed to give the final word on Saudi involvement, and that sentence was written, in his words, very carefully to allow for the remaining questions. Jim Sciutto, CNN, Washington.